this is the 2-track back to the Dispursed campsite that I'm going to. There might be more than one campsite here. I am not sure, but I'm going to find out. Most of this road is narrow enough that it would be hard to pass if a vehicle was coming at you. And you can't really pull off in most spots. Right here you could, but in most of the spots, the trees are growing so close to the road, or there's so many fallen trees along the side of the road that you can't pass. And this definitely isn't a road to fly down because it's not just chatter bumps, but some of the holes in the road are big enough to probably do a little bit of damage to a typical vehicle. So yeah, I'm gonna keep going and I'll check back in as soon as I get here. I've got half a mile left to go. Yep. Okay, so now it narrowed up even more. And this is very much more like a ORV trail or something. Luckily, I'm in a little tracks and I can handle this because it goes well down these 2 tracks. And I have brand new tires. So yeah. Another half a mile and I'll be there. Campsite Krolik is located along the edge of Fish Lake in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, and out in the middle of the lake on an island is Campsite Irek. Both of these campsites are dispersed campsites and are not accessible, it turns out, from the road. You have to put in at the boat launch and paddle to the campsites. There's no parking from the road that I brought out here. So I'm gonna have to go find another way to get to this campsite. There are private residences right here down this 2-track. They look like somebody's cabins maybe, but absolutely nowhere to park, and there's no hiking trail. So you definitely have to boat in to these campsites. So I decided to backtrack and go to the Fish Lake boat launch, and this is also an access point for the Indian River Trail, and I launched my drone and flew it out over the water. I figured if I can't drive or hike to the campsites, we can at least check them out from the air and see what the lake looks like at the same time. What I really like about this lake is that there's islands all over the place. I was told that this is a great lake for panfish fishing, but looking at the structure around here and all the islands, I have to imagine that there's got to be some bass and northern pike in here as well. So I'm going to fly around the lake here. I'm going to hit up the islands and the edge of the water and see if I can't find these campsites that are located here. So the map on Google Maps makes it look like this is the island right here that actually has the campsite on it. And looking at it, it almost looks like there is a trail that was made around the south edge of the island here. There's a little open path, but I don't see anything that looks like a campsite except maybe that little open patch right there. And if that is the case, it's nothing more than an open patch of land with no trees. You can almost see there in the water at the bottom of the screen, it looked like maybe a canoe or a kayak place where people pulled their boats up to the island to park them. But even then, that's a little sketch, and I don't know if that is the accurate spot or not, so I'm going to try to find the actual campsite that's along the edge of the water here. So we're going to fly in here and take a look around. It is so overgrown right here where this campsite is supposedly at. I didn't think I was going to find it, but then as I pan around over here, I actually think that I spot an orange tent really quick down there in the trees. We're going to see that here in a second. I'm going to just pan straight down and go along the edge here where it looks like the campsite is at. And right there, it's either a dead pine tree or an orange tent. I'm not sure which one it is, but that's about the exact spot where the campsite is supposed to be. So, looking at this further, I found out that supposedly a few years back, the DNR actually closed these campsites. Now, what they did to close them, I don't know. Did they just take away a method for payment? Or did they destroy them? I'm not sure, but this really looks like there's a little bit of a hiking path where people have walked along here and beaten it down. And then, as I fly back towards the boat launch, I find another spot that looks like a third campsite. The third unknown campsite is on this smaller island that I'm slowly approaching. So we're going to get a closer look at that here, and I know it is an amazing view right now, but I'm going to speed this up so we can get there a little quicker. There's definitely signage here, and this looks like a way better spot to pull up to and camp at. You can even see as I pulled up there several different drag marks in the bottom of the water where it looks like people have dragged their canoes or kayaks. There's another sign deeper in there, and I don't know, maybe these are the postings saying that the campsite is closed. I have no idea, but it definitely looks like this is in fact the campsite and not the one on that larger island where I was just at. I really don't know, maybe they sold this and it's now private property as opposed to public. Either way, online it says this is closed. I would definitely check with the DNR before you just pull up and stay the night here. And if you do decide to do that, keep in mind that they must be pre-reserved, and I will have the number for pre-reserving these remote campsites in the description of the video. Now I'm going to scoot on back to the boat launch here and take off to the next campground.